Good afternoon. Welcome to the December 14th, 2021 Board of Police Commission meeting. We acknowledge we are on traditional lands of Treaty 4 territory, a treaty signed with 35 First Nations across southern Saskatchewan and parts of Alberta and Manitoba, and the original lands of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. Some members of the board are attending the meeting today through video conferencing, and I'd like to remind those members who are attending, please ensure your video camera and microphone are turned off. If you wish to speak, use the raised hand function and unmute your microphone and enable your video camera when speaking. Can I have a motion to approve the public agenda? Thank you, Councillor Stevens. I'll call the question. Anyone opposed? Carried. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting held on November 22nd, 2021? Commissioner Bitther, thank you. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Any opposed? Carried. Our first report is PO 21-41, Tamara Keepness investigation. Chief, could I please have you introduce the report?
Great, thank you very much, and good afternoon, Mayor Masters, members of our board, and everyone who's joining us today. I will maybe mention, if I can, just outside of this, that you'll notice on the public agenda we don't have crime stats this month. That is very typical for the month of December, given the fact that there's work being done to reconcile that report. So in January, we will present kind of that year-end stats report with all the stats up to the end of December. So yeah, this report is one of two reports that we are presenting this month, asking that the approval be given for us to extend the reward that is offered, in this case, in the Tamara Keepness investigation. This Tamara Keepness investigation has been underway since July 5th of 2004, and obviously is a long-term missing person case in our community. As we've talked about many times through the years, this is a missing person case that really took on national and international attention, given the fact that this young girl at such a young age went missing, and to date we have still not been able to determine where Tamara went and kind of give some closure to the family. Our police service, working in conjunction with the Regina Board of Police Commissioners through the years, determined that there are still people out there that may have pieces of information that would be critical to solving this case. And so offering a reward each and every year is something that we do in order to try and elicit, number one, awareness about this important case, and number two, find someone that might have the missing piece of information that could help us solve this case. And so as a result, we are looking to extend this for the year 2022, once again offering a $50,000 reward that would lead to determining the whereabouts of Tamara Keepness. That money, if it is awarded, would come out of our existing budget. This is not a new budget ask. This is just something that we would make work out of our existing budget if we were lucky enough, and I will say we would be quite happy if we got to spend this money, because it would mean that we got some resolution. So the report contains the reward guidelines, which are also posted on our website. This is consistent with what we've done in past years, and again, we're asking for the Board of Police Commissioners to continue this offer of $50,000 until the end of 2022.
Thank you, Chief. Could I have a motion that the board continue to offer a $50,000 reward until December 31st, 2022 for information that leads to determining the whereabouts of Tamara Keepness? Thank you, Commissioner Thompson. I'll call the actually, I'll ask, do any members of the commission have any questions for Chief? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Anyone opposed? Carried. Next up is PO 21-42.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Masters. So this is another reward extension that we're looking to extend to the end of 2022. This one is with regard to an incident that we've referred to as a triple homicide in our city. It dates back to August 6th of 2010. The bodies of Grene Hatu, his wife Mama, and their son 7 June Hatu were located in their residence at 323 Oakview Drive, which is in Uplands. This obviously was a very serious incident when we have 3 homicides happen in a household like this. They are members of our Karen community, And so as a result, a very extensive investigation was done. We brought in outside investigators to assist us with this, to help us with language, with communication, with translation of the work that was going on. And despite years of extensive efforts on this investigation, we still have not been able to bring closure to the family, to the community, and hold anyone accountable for these deaths. And so again, similar to the Tamara Keepness file, we are hoping that someone out there who knows information on this file would be willing to come forward and potentially would be given the reward of $50,000 for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for these 3 homicides. So once again, we're asking our Board of Police Commissioners to continue to offer this reward of $50,000, which again, if rewarded, would come out of our existing budget. It is not new money. Again, the criteria for the process and the reward guidelines are listed in this report and on our website. And the other thing that I will mention is we do check on an annual basis with our investigators. There are other rewards that we have offered in the past on investigations where we have put a bit of an end date on them, feeling like we've done the reward offer and there's no new information coming forward. So we're going to stop that process of offering the reward. In the case of Tamara Keepness, and in this case, these are very serious cases in our community that we do still feel that there is someone out there who may have information that could ultimately help us solve this. And so we do feel it's in our best interest to continue to offer this reward.
Thank you, Chief. Could I have a motion that the board continue to offer a $50,000 reward until December 31st, 2022 for information that leads to determining the perpetrators of the triple homicide investigation of Greene Hutu, Mama, and 7 June Hutu? Thank you, Councillor Bresciani. Councillor Bresciani, you have some comments?
Thank you. So just like the last report and this one, so I guess the question is, we're renewing another reward. Was there uptake from offering that reward to have people come forward in this last year? Did you see an increase or doing it again? I mean, obviously, we want someone to come forward, but that's only one piece of it. What else do our officers do? So in this example, to continue to communicate so they don't forget about it, that there is still 3 homicide outstanding case, go into the Cairn community and have more discussions.
Right.
How is that highlighted through you, Madam Mayor?
Sure, I'm gonna let Deputy Chief Ray give you an answer to that question.
Thank you, Chief Ray. We still have, through our cold case investigator, still have regular communication with those, I guess, friends and acquaintances of this family. So there's still conversations that occur with them on a regular basis in hopes to generate interest in this incident and hopefully at some point in time have someone come forward with additional information that would help in the solving of this. Much like the Tamara Keepness piece, we have strong relationships with family. The Keepness one, we do a barbecue in the community with Ritzis every year, again, to generate interest in the file. And hopefully somebody will come forward with that piece of information, that golden nugget, to help us solve these offenses. So whether it's the Tamara Keepness or the triple homicide, we believe there's somebody in the community that has information. And through our diligence and commitment to these investigations, hopefully we'll have somebody come forward with a piece of information to help solve it. And quite frankly, even us talking about it here, we have our media in behind us. They're going to cover some of this as well. And again, letting the community know that this isn't forgotten. We haven't forgot about these. We're still committed to these investigations, and we're still looking for that piece of information. So I guess that's my plug to the media here is we're looking for members of the community to come forward with pieces of information that may help us solve this.
And I guess the last piece is that through the reward, or if there was anonymity, if people wanted to even phone through Crime Stoppers, there's that option as well, because sometimes when people come to this country, they maybe fear that. So I think it's very important to put that out there as well. But it's just so disheartening that we've got, for quite some time now. And what I heard, and I don't know where I read it, but I thought that there was some close leads on this homicide, on these 3 homicides. I thought there was, but we just, there was not enough. I don't know, but when something is so close and we still can't lynch it, that's where it's frustrating.
Right. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we have made a lot of progress on this investigation, but, you know, the threshold that we need to get to lay a charge is an importantly a significant threshold. And so sometimes you have a lot of information that gives you strong indications of where things are at, but the ability to actually have reasonable grounds to believe that this person committed this offense or this group of people is responsible for this offense is something that we need a lot of information to get to that threshold. And so I think that's what we're talking about. On this case, we worked hand in hand with Crown Prosecutions, and knowing that this was going to be an important case, and we needed to work diligently with our prosecution partners on this. So I think, you know, like Deputy Chief Ray said, we're looking for that one piece of information that we hope would get us to that threshold where we are confident in laying a charge. So having a suspicion or having a good idea of what happened is a lot different than having reasonable grounds to lay a charge, and that's what we're looking to get to. Just to your first point, you know, I think it's important that I do clarify that in order to qualify for this reward, we cannot give anonymity, and confidentiality is not. In order to qualify for this reward, you could be compelled to testify in court. If you provide a piece of information that leads us to lay a charge or make an arrest, chances are good we're going to need you to go to court. Now, there are other mechanisms and ways that you can remain anonymous, and Crime Stoppers is one of them. There's other opportunities as well, but it might not meet the qualifications and the guidelines of this reward.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Any other members of the commission wish to comment or ask questions? Commissioner Bitther?
Chief, I'm just wondering how many cold cases like this we have right now?
We're looking at our experts in the back here. Okay, so I think our cold case file load right now is probably 30 to 35 cases. Some of those date back a number of years. And some of them are cases where, as you may have remembered here recently in the last year, we've successfully concluded 2 cold case files. One was an accident that happened involving a train, and another one was a homicide file where we were able to locate the deceased and lay a charge on the person that had committed the crime. So those files are constantly being investigated. We have a person that works in that area, and that person does work in conjunction with our major crimes investigators, so our homicide investigators. So there's always a team of people. If they get a lead, if they get something that causes them to start doing some work in a direction, it's not just one person that would do that. We assemble a team to do that work. So much like the question about tips, we do often, just through having this discussion, generate a number of tips. Every one of those tips will be investigated. All leads will be exhausted to determine if they've yielded any evidence or anything substantial that could be used in the ongoing furtherance of the investigation. And if not, then it hits a dead end, but that file will continue to remain open as part of our cold case files.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bitther. Seeing no further questions, I'll call the question. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, carried. Next is PO 21-43, consideration of meeting date and times for 2022. Ms. Golke, could I have you introduce the report, please?
Yes, these are the meeting dates that are set for 2022 and for January of 2023. The January 25th meeting in 2022 was approved earlier in the year in January. We are making a slow move back to regular meetings again, which will starting in January. Meetings will be at 9 a.m. in the morning as they used to be. We still will be holding meetings in Henry Baker Hall from January to April, although starting in May we will be going back to the Police Service Center.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to approve the meeting dates set out in the recommendations? Thank you, Councillor Bresciani. Anyone have any questions or comments for Ms. Golke? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Anyone opposed? That's carried. Can I have a motion for private session? Thank you, Counselor Bresciani. We'll recess for 15 minutes.